great rabbis of yesteryear. Now, we're talking about the great Spanish and Portuguese rabbis, and over here I want to concentrate on this class on the great Rabbi Immanuel Aboab Z'tl. Now, he was born in English year 1555 and passed away in the year 1628. So he would have been about 73 years of age at the time of passing. He was born in the area of Porto in Portugal at one time, especially that time period. There was a great Jewish community in Portugal. He would pass away in Venice, in the Republic of Venice in of itself, in English year 1628. As we said before, he would have been approximately 73 years of age at the time of passing. It's actually interesting. He was a great grandson of another famous rabbi, Rabbi Aboab of Castile, who he himself had passed away 1493, about 62 years before Rabbi Immanuel Aboab was born. So he was born, as we said before, in Porto, and very, very great, came from great rabbinic heritage. I think he became, unfortunately, an orphan when he was at a youngish age, and I think his grandfather, Rabbi Abraham Aboab, helped in raising him, if I'm not mistaken. He would eventually emigrate to Italy, and after, let's say, some time, he would spend some time in the area of Pisa. He would move to Corfu, which I believe Corfu in and of itself had a great Jewish community in and of itself over there, and he became acquainted with the famous person, the great character, Orazio de Monte, a nephew, I think, of the Duke of Urbino. I think very, very interesting enough. So he had a very close connection with very people. It's actually interesting. In Reggio Emilia, he became acquainted with another great rabbi, I think Rabbi Menachem Azaria de Fano, who I think we've spoken about in this series before. And then he went to an area called Spoleto, and he went to various different places in Italy, and eventually will settle in Venice. I think over there in the year 1603, let's just say, he would he had an occasion, let's just say in himself, to defend his coreligionists, if I'm not mistaken. He eventually passed away in the year 1628. That would have been about 25 years after this actually took place in of itself. Now, he wrote great Torah works in of itself. Just to add interesting tidbit, Rabbi Aboab had the intention to moving to Palestine and publishing over there his great works in himself. I think the work was called The Kingdom of the Intellect and the Foundations of Truth. Over here, this was a Torah colossal work which he had written in defense of the Gemara, the Shatz, the Talmud Babli in of itself. He was also, let's say, of a defense of the traditional law and of a chronological list of that law's exponents in of itself. He worked, I think, at this treatise, which was much prized by, let's say, the great wise people, the pious, for 10 years. And I think he completed it in the year 1625. It was published by his heirs in Amsterdam. Amsterdam had a great printing press, I think, in the year 1629. Now, we've spoken about Amsterdam, various different videos, especially in the 1600s. A lot of publishing, great publishing house in itself. I remember we mentioned a video on the famous Rabbi Menashe ben Israel with regards to publishing also. And this book, I think, was titled The Nomologia or Discursos Legales. I think Computus por el Virtus Hacham Rabbi Immanuel Aboab de Buona Memoria. I hope I pronounced that correctly over there. And there was, I believe there's still a manuscript of this work exists in the library of the Historical Academy in Madrid, I believe, which is very, very interesting enough. And he's quoted in many different academic books in of itself. He was one of the great rabbis from the Spanish-Portuguese community in of itself. One of the first rabbis, you could say, in of itself, of this great Jewish Torah scholars. And he was a great-grandson of Rabbi Isaac Aboab of Castile. So very interesting. We haven't actually related over, I think, any videos of great rabbis that was born in Porto, in Portugal, I believe, in this series so far. But he passed away in Venice, I think, currently the country of Italy in of itself. And please learn more about the great Rabbi Immanuel Aboab. Please, friends, we are a community here. If you happen to be descended from any of these great rabbis or great person, please send me an email. Let me know more information. Introduce yourself. I'd love to know more. I'd love to hear more information on them. Please subscribe to the channel. We've covered already about 500 great rabbis of yesteryear in this series over here. We've covered already about maybe 10 or 15, a dozen Portuguese rabbis over here. Very much from Portugal. Absolutely amazing to hear more information on them, and would like to hear more from you. So wishing you all well, recording this from a synagogue in the city of Bet Shemesh, and just blessings here from Israel. Take care and be well.